So today we're not gonna do our usual like talking head type stuff. I guess there'll be a little bit of that. We have 2 rehabs we're working on in Joshua Tree right now, and we decided it might be cool to kind of take you guys along, just show you like a day in the life of what it looks like when we're out there in the field, kind of doing our thing. So
getting dusty.
Getting dusty. That's what today's video is gonna be about, and hopefully you guys get some value from kind of peeking behind the curtain and seeing how we run our business. So right now in JT, we've got 2 separate rehabs that we're running right now. One of them's with our handyman, shout out to Nacho. The other one, we hired an actual general contractor, and they have been very, very different projects. Our handyman, Nacho, he's already on rehab number 2.
They started, back it up, they started on the same week.
Almost the exact same scope of work. Nacho, again, he finished that first house, what, 4 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
He's already on to the next rehab that we have him working, and our GC,
2,000 years later,
is still not done with the first one. And what makes matters even worse is that our GC costs almost twice as much as our handyman. So big lesson for us is that just because someone's got the GC title behind them doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually fit for the job. But I guess just to, to defend myself, we had a hard time finding a contractor to take on that second property. He was the only one that was willing to take the job, which I guess in and of itself, kind of a red flag.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway, hasn't been the best project for us, so.
No, it is not.
Yeah, if I seem annoyed as I'm walking through this property, that's why. We're on our way to Joshua Tree right now. We've got 2 properties we're gonna visit. One of them has been an absolute nightmare, so we're gonna check in on the job, just make sure that they're finished off what they're supposed to do. The other one's just getting started, so we're gonna go in and drop off some supplies we got for that property.
Okay, before we go see the properties, just wanna give you guys a random fun fact. We are currently training for a fitness competition, so I'm gonna do like a bikini competition. And what's yours called?
Yeah, same thing. It's like a men's physique competition. I convinced my wife to do this one with me, so we're on the journey together.
Nice.
We're thinking about having a baby soon, so I wanted to make this a goal of mine before we start that journey. So I'm excited and scared, but that's why we look crazy.
All right, so we're here in the house, and Sarah and I are just kind of doing a walkthrough. We're like almost at the finish line, but we're trying to just point out the things that still need to be done from the scope of work, like in the kitchen, minor things, but there's no hardware on any of the cabinets yet. Obviously, the appliances aren't in yet. Whenever you're doing a flip like this or rehab, there's always going to be little things the contractor might miss. So it's on you as the investor, as a property owner, to go through and really point those things out to make sure that they get done. Now, hopefully, a good contractor is going to leave this and they already have this on their list, but either way, it's good for us to point those kind of things out to them.
So it's important to check the light fixtures and the water, the garbage disposal, the door locks, like everything that someone would use if they stayed at your property. So that's what we're doing right now.
What a cool mirror.
Okay, that's it. We did the walkthrough at this property. What do you think?
It's coming along, right? This is one of our first rehabs out here in JT, so excited that we're almost at the finish line. We definitely learned a lot
So much.
with this project. We'll give you guys all the ugly details when we get back to the house, but we're excited. So even though we weren't super happy with just like the working relationship with that GC for this house, the actual quality of the work has been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, the house turned out great. We're like literally in the final stretch, and that's actually why we went to the property that day, was just to kind of walk through, create a bit of a punch list ourselves of what we felt still needs to be done. And they're just like some minor things, like the appliances still need to be put in, like the hardware for the kitchen, some other kind of touch-up paint throughout the house, but for the most part, we're pretty much done with this property.
Lord. Hopefully. So I know the garage looked super crazy when we first started our business. We were shipping everything to our personal house.
It was just like chaotic trying to
Stressful,
separate everything.
yeah.
And
for this property, we decided to ship everything directly to that property, and we installed
automatic garage door opener so we can open it and close it remotely.
Yeah, whenever there's deliveries, we have a Ring camera that shows us when there's someone at the property, and I can communicate with them through the camera and then open and close the garage there. So that was pretty great.
Yeah.
Now we just need to go through all the boxes and assemble all of the furniture. But anyway, so we decided not to do that. Let's just pay good old Nacho, pay him to do this for us. It just takes so much time and that's so stressful.
Yeah, and it puts a stress on our relationship.
Oh yeah, we want to kill each other every time. All right, so this next property we're taking you on a tour of is our third rehab we've done out in Joshua Tree for a short-term rental. And I was so excited. You guys clearly can see how excited I am for it. But the reason why I was super pumped for this one was because I completely designed it by myself. From picking up flooring to the paint colors and all of the furniture pieces. It was just so cool to see it come to life, and I actually liked it. I say, wow, that is incredible. So we usually hire Bree. I know we've talked about her in the videos before. She's my good friend and interior designer. So we reached out to her for this project, and she got her own Airbnb. Yay! This gave me that push to just do it on my own. So taking what Bree's taught me with our other properties, I came up with this vision. I love it. It looks so good. So these are accent walls. This was my vision. What do you think?
It looks so good.
I did good, huh?
So good.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
You need to tell your contractor what your vision is, like the specifications of the furniture pieces, the light fixtures. So I learned that from the last property. So day one, when we closed on this property, I already had my design completed and walked the entire space of this house with our contractor and showed him my plans and showed him this accent wall goes there, this one goes here, I have a light fixture here, I want this door to look like this. So, hey, what's good, huh? Babe, look. I was looking up inspo for that theme I wanted with the wood and the dark, and I saw this. It was like a hotel where the wood paneling went all the way up to the ceiling. And then I wanted this to be an accent. Also, we're gonna put gold hardware. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. Look at this! I'm so shocked. Oh, look at this one. Tying in with the living room colors and theme.
One of the things we have to do at every property after we buy it is connect our keyless entry pad and then Ring security cameras outside. It's important for us to be able to see who's coming in and out of the property because we're, an hour and a half away. So, if we want to be able to let people in and out remotely, having the Slage on code is super important. And we will put a link to the description for this product in the description as well. So.
Also, totally irrelevant, but we're really excited about our new outfits, sponsored by Fabletics. We're like Demi Lovato. Sponsor us, Fabletics, because we're becoming fitness people and we wear your clothes.
Came out fantastic. I think for both of us walking in there for the first time, we were like, oh my God, this property is going to turn out so well.
Yeah.
The wood paneling on the walls, the cool little wood design.
Very sexy vibes.
Yeah, just not something you see every day in Joshua Tree. So I think this one's going to stand out so much. So you did a great job, wifey.
I'm excited to see it all done. So we just want to call out the differences from working with a general contractor and a handyman.
One of the biggest, I think, lessons coming out of this specific rehab is to really clearly define your scope of work and make sure that's what gets put into the contract that you sign with the general contractor. I put together a pretty detailed scope of work before we hired anyone, so I knew everything we wanted to get done. But when we actually signed the agreement with the contractor, he had his own really whack scope of work that he included. And I think that disconnect between what he put in the contract and what I wrote out initially caused a lot of friction as we went through this process as well.
For our scope of work, when going over that with Nacho, there was no contract, right? No contract. We walked the property together. He walked it again a second time on his own with his team. He gave us a quote and he got to work the next week, I would say, right? I didn't know that, like, you're supposed to tell them, I guess, what furniture pieces, I guess if they're like obscure, like what? I don't get it still to this day. I'm very confused. But anyways, the floating vanity, the back of the vanity where it would get mounted into the wall had a space like this big, but the plumbing that would get connected into there didn't fall into this space. It fell underneath. So our options, according to this contractor, was to return this big ass vanity that would have been so complicated to return, or put a hole in the freaking wall, which we're like already done, you know, but like pretty much like redo the plumbing. So things like that happened several times. So I think just realizing that you need to have that communication even with the furniture pieces you decide on with your contractor is important.
He has a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
You know?
And we don't have to be on him, calling him every other day to make sure he's on track with the deadlines.
Like, he surprises us with how fast he gets things done. It's like,
it'll be done Friday. Calls us, never mind, it was done on Monday.
Yeah, it's like, what?
We're like, holy you know?
I guess the last lesson learned is just to be really, really picky about the GCs that you use. Like, I think at the end of the day, it probably makes more sense to let a property sit vacant for an extra month or two than to choose the wrong GC. And that was a big lesson for us. Again, the quality of the work was great, but the working relationship has been an absolute nightmare.
That was, I think, the biggest difference, right? Like, to call out between the two leaders manning those projects. I would say Nacho's line of work probably wasn't as detail oriented as the GC.
There were like small minor differences, like for the bathroom, the general contractor put, let's call it like a bull nose, which is like a little piece of like metal that goes like all the way around the tile for the shower, whereas Nacho just used like caulking, but it looks fine.
Yeah,
you know?
literally we do not care.
For a short-term rental, like that's all you need. Minor differences, but nothing to make it not worth our while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just calling that out because some people are very particular and would prefer that specific detail, you know? If you do prefer that, just make sure you have that outlined in your scope of work. Again, that's just such a big difference compared to other property, and we're very grateful for that.
I wouldn't recommend that anyone just kind of get into such a big project without a contract, but we've been working with Nacho for quite some time before we did this first major rehab with him. Like I said, we already had a really good working relationship with him, and you know, he's a great guy, so we trust him. Oh
my God, thank the Lord for Nacho, our handyman who we adore. He brought the vision to life and he killed it. We couldn't be doing stuff in Joshua Tree without Nacho.
So shout out to Nacho. I know this question is gonna come up in the comments, like if you guys can get Nacho's phone number, and as much as we would love to, we unfortunately cannot.
Sorry.
Like literally, even if we gave you Nacho's phone number, like he sold us this to people who've reached out to him, and his response was, please reach back out to me in 2 years.
Because he loves working with us too. Isn't that so sweet? I literally could have cried when he told me that. But so when you find a special, trustworthy person to have on your team, just keep them close to you.
We've mentioned this in other videos, but like we actually hired Nacho's wife and his daughter as our cleaning crew. They're working all of our properties in Joshua Tree now, and we're adding 3 more this month. So like it's a very like mutually beneficial relationship between us and then like that entire family. So
love them.
So that's pretty much it. You know, like we said, we just wanted to kind of take you all along on the journey of us checking in on these 2 rehabs. As both finish up, we'll do full videos for each one, give you some before and afters, but this is kind of the journey in between that a lot of people don't get to see. So guys, that's it for today. I'm Tony.
I'm Sarah.
And we are
the Real Estate Robinsons.